I think. It's counting down.
You're good.
Okay.
All right, the time being 5:30, we're going to call to order the Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS Commissioners meeting. Present is Commissioner Paul, John, Chief Sitar, Paul Fitzgerald, the attorney, deputy, and Kathy. It's a good start. All right, so the first thing we got right off the bat is we have a consultation with our attorney. Now, is that on record or off record? As a non-meeting or meeting? How is that proper?
We usually handle it as a non-meeting.
Okay, so if that's the case, then at 5:31, we're going to go into a non-meeting, which means at that point we can turn the recorders. Get that one too?
It is back on now. Yep.
Okay. The time being 6:11, we're going to resume the traditional meeting. With us also is now Deputy Robinson and Commissioner Pyra. All right. So, next thing on the
Good night, folks.
See you later.
Good
Good
night.
night,
I saw
thank
you
you.
added in some stuff, so let me know when they get to.
I will.
Public comment, members of the district, employees of the district, anything from, other than, and we don't have anyone from the public, there we go, I'm trying to get my pencil to work on it. All right, any correspondences that came in?
No.
Nice. All right, right into the chief's report.
As you know, I sent you the chief's report last Friday morning
Yeah.
for your review. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have within that report.
About how many calls over 2021 will be this year?
Thank you.
We should be around 2,200 and change.
So we were at like, in the month, we're right around 2000.
Last year, we were 2014.
14.
I can tell you what they
We're
were
over,
at the end
we're
of
over that already.
Yeah, we're over 240. I think the last one I looked at was 249.
Well, no, at the end of November.
I can tell you at the end of November. Did you? I sent an email out to the department.
2014?
Well, that was what we did in 2021. It was 2014 calls.
We're already there.
We're already there. I think it's.
But at the end of November, when I looked, it was like right around, and there was a couple days left, it was almost at 2000.
November call stats. At the end of, through November 30th in 2021, we were at 1,839. In 2022, we're at 2,015.
I think it's 2014.
You were pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are, however, if you want to do math, 115 plus 61. So
I'd say
176.
we're on pace to be total overall would be
That's a big
2,220-ish.
and a lot of them are transports.
Yes.
Up 10%.
When I passed you
Which
guys,
is revenue.
passed you guys at 93 the other night, we were down in Canterbury.
That was a good smash.
Yeah.
I do have a question.
Yeah, right now we're 2,057.
The average response time to a second or greater calls, 7.58 minutes, I believe that's what that means, from 22.30.
Yeah.
Even with extra guys, it still takes 7 minutes to get out for the second call.
Well, to get on scene,
So it is on the scene then?
yeah.
Okay.
But that's been that number for a while.
Yeah, that number really,
Well,
once we hired and had the additional personnel available, it jumped from that 22 minutes down to 7 minutes, and it's pretty much stayed there.
Okay.
It's moved decimal points up and down per month. It really hasn't changed. And the more data I get into that, it really solidifies right into that spot. It'd be hard for that number to change now. We'd have to have a very outcast number either way for it to change.
The other thing I wanted to ask is the safer firefighters in 2021 would have an impact, or would have been 9 cents per 1,000.
Yes.
Is that per man, or is that for all of them?
That's for the whole program.
Okay.
And I know you guys are having a meeting tomorrow night, I believe, or
Yes.
the night after.
Tomorrow.
You project that will be the cost for 2022?
The cost per thousand,
Yeah,
I don't have that number yet,
Okay.
so that's one of the things I'm working on.
okay, because that's something that we'll have to budget for, to plan for, is the going forward, is it still like 9 cents or 12 cents, or did it go to 17 cents?
Yeah.
That's the marketability, definitely.
Right, I'll have that number for you,
Well,
for the,
for them,
Yep.
initially, yep. So, I see that we do have DES permits in hand and no DES permits for the hydrants and cisterns. I was looking at that.
right.
Okay, so we'll be able to move forward with that, nothing.
Yeah,
we'll
so
hold
we
those up.
have, the estimates for the cost for the cistern itself. I don't have it on me, but it's somewhere between $50,000 and $60,000 for the materials. Kenny Partridge wants to have that installed this winter. We ordered the materials for the dry hydrant on Sanborn. Those materials are still waiting to be delivered. And I'm still working on some other sites, and we can, I'll also have a warrant article to add additional funds to that.
Is that, are those funds that we have to encumber? Or
No,
are they- 'cause
No, it's
those
a
are-
non-lapsing, it's a fund that the commissioners, when I give you a bill for this, you say, yeah, go ahead and pay it, and so that we can get things done and
It's just good, whatever.
as expeditiously as we can.
So, like, is that my road?
It needs a,
So if we put another 100,000 in
One
next
finger,
year,
yeah.
it-
Okay.
yeah, we haven't spent it, we
The
got 200,
6-inch
I know we
edge.
spent
Yep.
some.
Yes.
Gotcha.
as soon as we get that, it's running.
Okay, so the pipe's in the ground, I'm not
Yep.
gonna freeze up, okay, good.
Staging for supplies for the Sanborn dry hydrant, or the supplies gonna come in the spring, or you're not?
They're planned to be coming in the spring, it's
Okay.
just a
All right.
supply shortage.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you were expecting them sooner and you had a staging plan, or if you had to lease space or have them sitting, or,
No, the material won't take up that much space. If it does come in earlier than when we're ready to drop it on site, it'll stay at the Park Street Fire Station, we have a place for it.
okay, yeah, just so we aren't paying a cost and it's secure that someone else doesn't get piped for their projects.
100 feet short.
One thing that, because of our talk tonight, next year, when we start the chief's report and for the next funding, we probably should have as included in there part of it water usage, kind of broken down, because this is something that's just gonna be how much, like, estimated usage for the month that you used. It can be broken down by station usage as well as
I mean,
fire and quantity.
hydrant usage per month?
I
No.
think as part of your monthly report, it's like how much water did we use this month, either with the stations or if we had a fire, our
I
estimated
think the
usage.
stations is not really a problem.
Okay.
It's just,
That's metered, isn't it?
it's metered and
Right.
we're paying for it.
Right, and as long as that doesn't become an issue, I just know that the fill line sometimes might be an issue with the water district. The domestic isn't, that
The only
should be
time
enough.
it was, the fill line has been an issue with the water district, if we used the fill line and we put it into the pump to pressurize it, where we end up drawing more
Right.
water out of it than what would normally flow
Yep.
if you just opened it by a regular valve, which causes them to have brown
Mhm.
water. So we've agreed, and we have a policy in place that we're not doing that anymore.
Yep.
So,
Just plan, you might wanna have fire that is, if we have a fire, our approximate usage that month for
Yep.
whatever reasons, just so that we can have whoever the commissioners are, have that kind of, because that's gonna be a nature of the beast going down the road, I foresee.
okay.
Let's say you go on a mutual aid call in Franklin.
Mhm.
I mean, most of Franklin has hydrants, does it not?
They have like 390 bedrooms.
Pretty
Yeah.
well covered.
Yeah, so, I mean, would you just come back full from there, or would you
Yes.
come back here?
If we had the hydrant, we're not gonna go
Open a hydrant to fill.
open a hydrant to fill.
Well,
So if we
yeah,
were in a tanker shuttle,
Yeah,
say, if we ended up full, we could be full, but if we dumped our load and they told us to go in service, we come back empty.
Use our fill line at that point.
I mean, I guess we could, like, if you go to a corner, you can tag I can tag a hydrant anywhere, I don't have to call the water district. You can tag a hydrant, use it anytime. That's the biggest thing here, is we can't use these hydrants unless it's an emergency.
Right.
That's been like that since I got hired.
Yeah.
Where if I go to
They're full of
Franklin,
sediment.
yeah, if I go to Franklin or Coney, I can just use the hydrant, you know.
Yeah, that's how it was where I come from.
Well, like, let's say you
Both
went down
towns-
on the
municipality.
town line over there, let's say Monroe.
Because of
whatever.
the-
They didn't even want to, they didn't
Yeah,
even care.
we train at,
It was like,
behind, well, Creative Steps, but you probably don't know what that is. It's, Smitty Cinema.
Yeah.
The right-hand side, behind Creative Steps, there's a hydrant in the woods that's for Rite Aid, but it's a Franklin hydrant, so we'll go and train there. And that's where we get our training on the hydrant, because we're not even allowed to dress them. So,
Right. And so that's just, yeah, that's part of the whole argument though. So,
I think it's 10.
I did notice, and had noted, just inspections, I see you're trying to incorporate more people into them and getting around, sharing that wealth and experience, so that's great. Saw that you've even gotten out to one, maybe two, I think it was two.
yeah, I get out there.
Yeah, which I appreciate. Trying to get that. I saw the calls, I saw there was the transports, others transported more than we transported. It was like 7 to 4 or something like that,
Yeah.
which, it's the nature of the business, I mean. But we gave up an engine a couple more times, but. I have my other notes. A2, what happened to the door?
So it's been a kind of a problem since we got it, that when you close the door, it wasn't latching at the top all the time. So the guys were trying to adjust the nadir pin on it,
Yep.
and it got to the point where I says, this is a warranty issue, it's not latching properly, let's get it fixed. And so that's what happened.
Yeah, it was still one for each.
Yes. So it didn't cost us anything. They came, picked the ambulance up, they took it, they kept it and repaired it and made the adjustments so that it closes properly now, and then they brought it back to us.
And our ambulances, because it's a different topic that's going through my head, but while you're on that, our ambulances, you can hit one thing and lock every compartment on it, right?
Yes.
Okay. The trucks, the engines, we don't have that, but,
Not like a power lock button, no.
okay. I was just thinking that day that where we had the engine sitting on the ramp, there was no way of really securing all the equipment within. And that's why it was going to the ambulance at the same time triggering in my brain.
Yeah.
And I know that would be very expensive.
We looked at that when we were pricing the engines, and the cost, the commissioners at the time said the cost was too much, since we've never had a problem. So I guess we'll wait till we have a problem.
Access control, that was on the agenda last month, is it?
Yes,
Oh,
we have a quote, it's in your package.
it is?
Yeah.
Last page.
It's this.
It's
Yeah,
just,
remember I prayed off at work, so
yeah.
I didn't see
And
it.
and that's the quote to upgrade the camera system at Center Street. It should be in the bottom of your
Yeah.
pile. But you should.
Yeah, but I printed off my stuff
Okay.
independently, so.
How much is there a way to get a bid for like Mingo or something?
Oh, we would. This is just for budgetary purposes. If the commissioners decide that this is a worthy project, it will go out to bid, and we'll get 3 vendors to bid on it.
I know in my opinion it is, but I just one because
Is this where that,
Center
the
Street.
main, the Center Street, the main
Yes.
entrance, yeah.
Yeah. So they can buzz them and all that. And so would they have a camera over at Park Street for communication by wireless? Nope, this is just all for Center Street for that price?
Mhm. To do that, we would have to have internet connection between Center Street and Park Street to go back to the central storage device thing.
So we got like 5 turret cameras, so this is more than just one camera at the.
Oh, yeah, so it's a system for the whole
It's
outside.
good around, but you're basically going
Into a
around.
360.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not so worried about door.
Yeah. Can you look into a possible ring camera system or something like that? If someone goes over to Park Street thinking that there's people there and there's not, that could, I mean, nowadays, people get it for their homes where it's just literally the ring camera, it goes to their cell
Ring
phones.
camera, can you do it at more than one door at a time?
I don't know.
I think it's a separate one for each door.
But even then, I mean, just to have that over there and then it goes to someone, the duty cell phone or something like that.
No, you
That's
don't wanna
not
go
gonna
in
work.
there.
Something of that
We
nature.
would,
So,
we would have to figure out how to hook it up so that I could see it.
Right.
Or not.
right, something.
Yeah, but that's during the day, but at night.
That's the reason why I was
Yeah.
thinking that option is because if someone goes there thinking it's an emergency and thinking it's
Well, I think
bandit,
you'd be
it's
able to,
not.
because let's say you have 4 or 5 people living in your house with cell phones, you should be able to get it to each of their.
Just an app, isn't it?
Yes, it is just that.
I mean, it's not really commercial based; it's more residential
Right,
based.
right.
But theoretically, it's a band-aid for Park Street to have some coverage of something.
Yeah,
I'm not
Right.
looking to have perimeter, but accessibility if something
I'll
goes
look into
wrong.
it, yeah.
Because half the time people are like, are they over there for the fire permit or are they over here for the fire permit? At least that way you can hit it. It's like, yep, we're on call right now or we'll be back at this point. Okay.
See? Fire.
That's, yeah, I could picture that phone ringing on a call and all of a sudden it's somebody at Park Street and I'm trying to do CPR. I don't think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
if
just wouldn't get answered.
that.
It wouldn't get answered.
Well,
That's
the
what I would hope
problem
in that
is,
case.
not many people have that phone number, and when it rings, you do answer it. And so if it started
Got it.
ringing in the middle of, you
Yeah.
know, so if I'm on like, I'm,
Yeah.
no, legit, I've been doing CPR, and the phone rings, I'll answer it, because it's a paramedic calling me, telling me he's coming. If it starts ringing and it's
Yeah.
some guy at Park Street looking for a fire permit, that's gonna, yeah.
It's just whatever means we have or something like that. If there's just an option out there of,
Put a
so that if
sign
someone
over
does
there.
go over there,
So what we had in Tewksbury was a phone.
yep,
On the
outside
wall.
phone.
You picked up the phone and it automatically dialed 911. It didn't dial the fire station. If an emergency, this dialed 911, pick up the phone, so if it was an emergency. If you want something else, it said to call this number. We could probably do something like that, but
They
there
had
would be
that?
a cost for a phone line and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff as well, to do something like that.
Yeah.
Well, we used to have
In
The
in
pull box.
Tewksbury, it was part of the townwide phone system.
Yeah.
So that cost was just absorbed in the town manager's phone bill budget thing.
And part of it is to buzz to let people in without having to send people down every time
Yep.
and all that. And because the few times I go over there, it's like you ring the doorbell and I can see there's trucks in there, but are both trucks or not both trucks? And is someone going to come or not? At least yeah. And,
When I'm there, the door is unlocked now,
right.
during the day when I'm there.
Right. So now the door's unlocked. And
Which isn't always great either.
no.
No.
But if they come in, they can have right access into the garage.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's where I was going at. Is
Wait.
that they have that.
Right, but there's no sign there to tell them to turn the handle all the way to the right, so you have to know how to open the door.
Right, but theoretically, that's the thing, is that leaving the door unlocked, it's a
It's not a
possible
good
theft
idea.
problem. Right, it's not, it's to secure the building properly and know when someone's coming in. Um, I think that we need to have something there, because potential lawsuit, because if someone can't get to the doorbell to ring or have communication with the admin people, it's like, how can they get up to that, ring the doorbell or knock on the door to get in if they're handicapped?
Have a thing that they push, a stick, and it pushes the button.
Right, but with ADAs and stuff
Well,
like
that's what
that.
I'm worried about. I mean, it's,
Totally.
is it gonna be ADA compliant, the installation of this? It's bad enough that the station isn't. I hate to say it.
Right, the buzzer would have to be somewhat accessible from the ground.
Right,
And we don't have the access way either way to put a ramp to that front, because you go way on both sides.
The stairs actually are on the street,
Mhm.
yes.
Right,
so I'm sure that they could manage a way to have, two buzzers, one low, one high, or something like that. So if you go up the stairs, you can push the buzzer, but if you can't reach it, you can push this one.
Because
Something
they're
like
not gonna be able to get the stairs regardless.
but you could still come down and give them services if
Right,
they
well,
needed
they
as
could,
a permit or something like that.
Is it intercom too, or is it just cameras?
I
Yes.
think it's a voice so that you can talk to the person. And I hate putting more money into Center Street Station with the potential of it being a short term, but I worry about the ADA. We're doing everything we can to meet it the best we can.
I'd say it's important enough that we gotta get.
Look into it.
Yep.
Okay, so if I do that, I believe we have funds available
This year.
this year to do this in the current budget. I can go and get 3 bids, and we'll do a purchase order with the lowest bid person to achieve the goals that you guys are looking for.
Yeah, then
We
encumbered.
We have to encumber it before December 31st.
If we do a PO,
Right, we do.
that automatically encumbers it.
Yes.
And the other thing, I don't think we need to have the best of the best.
No,
I mean, this price here
the
is
reason
just
this is
as relevant.
before you right now is because I looked at the number and I questioned whether the commissioners want to invest this much money in the Center Street Station currently. That's why this is in front of you, because I
Yeah.
wasn't going to make that decision.
Yeah.
I want,
I
you know,
don't
your
want
input.
to, but I also, the whole other side of the equation, it's just how much will we be paying out, and there's no argument of it if we didn't have it.
Right.
Just make sure it's an apples to apples bid,
Yes.
so like.
Yes.
Yes.
So if this is 5 cameras, this,
I'm
that, the
pretty,
next
I'm
bid
pretty
is.
good at that. I'm
Mhm.
very, very specific.
Yeah,
with that,
because
so.
A and B is local,
No, they're in Dover now.
well,
Well,
they're all over.
You have the father and son. The father lives in Guilford.
Yes.
Brian, the son, lives in Dover. He's a firefighter in Hampton. And so he has a Seacoast division, they have a Wolf Bar division, and then they have the, but Bill is the main owner, he lives in Guilford.
Yeah, you got Mango, you got a few of the electric companies, I mean, Daniels does stuff like that, and there's all
It
kinds
won't
of
be,
them.
No, neither.
Yeah.
well, the thing will be
Good
trying
sign,
to
huh?
get
Yeah.
Security system, I don't.
that estimate.
I think
before-
Brian-
What's the one right down here?
That's what he was
I was
saying.
just asking that.
Yeah, right here,
Main
that's
Street.
Main Street.
Yeah,
I know that in the town, we received, one of the comments that we received was, he's never been asked to do any local projects.
Yeah,
It's
definitely. huh?
Mason, right?
Yeah, it's right next to.
And I think Mango would be a good one. Mango's always,
Yes.
Mango's expensive, but.
yeah, they do a good job.
They do.
There's a reason.
But
everybody
a
uses it.
lot of what they charge for is their monitoring fee.
Yeah,
I
And
know
with this,
that-
we're not really looking at a monitoring fee, we're just looking at power it and record it.
yeah.
Well, I know that the town has used his cameras on the outside of his building multiple times for incidences, and they've been able to get information.
All right, so
Because
is that the wish of the board?
Yes, that's my
I would
wish.
get the 3 estimates and then send them out to the commissioners, just so that it's on their tails rather than yours.
Okay. Everyone, fine with me.
I think,
So long as we get it done before.
yes.
we need to have the commissioners say yes or
A
no before December 31st, so we can do a PO for
If we do
whichever
another
one. we
meeting, then we
decide.
do another meeting.
You don't need another meeting,
No.
as long as you,
Agree to, we see the 3 and this is the choice, and as long as we agree, you don't need a meeting. If there's agree by individual email. If there's a concern or something like that, then we would have to look at.
I'll get the three things, I'll tell you what my recommendation is, and you can tell me whether you agree with it or not.
Yeah.
And you'll have a copy of everything,
Right.
Right,
okay?
Yeah, that's the best way, and then as
And-
long as there's an agreement, then you don't need a meeting.
and it will be email policy that you can respond.
Because you will need an affirmative email from all three.
Yep.
Yep. And
Now, you're gonna be gone,
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
we can
So-
have-
yeah, so we're gonna have to get that done.
Well, actually, it's only
Wait,
2 out
does
of
the
3, I
email work
only
down
need
there?
2 out of 3.
Huh?
Doesn't your email work down there, or you don't have access?
He gets it through work.
Well, I get it at work, but I also get it on my phone too, so.
You get your work email on your phone?
He didn't want you to know that.
No, I got it. No, I don't get it on my work, but I do get the chief's email on my phone. And then when it goes to my house, I get it on my phone.
Yeah,
All right.
All right. So, yeah, I worry the financial consequences of not having it
way more than,
astronomically, and even if we settled, it would still be the astronomical of what it could have been.
yes.
You guys have any other questions over here? As usual, I open my mouth more than I allow you guys to. I saw you had a call firefighter who's gonna be with us later in the year.
Did you get one of these?
So, the other one below the call firefighter, is that gonna cause overtime issues for the first half of the year?
Oh,
No.
I thought he was a call firefighter. That's the
No.
one I was talking
No.
about. Okay.
No, so
He's a safer.
he's a safer employee, so currently, his position will be filled with overtime until he comes on board.
And it's June 12th, not July 12th.
Yes, sorry.
Right, but that's 6 months.
Yeah,
So is that 6 months of overtime that we're gonna have to pay?
yeah, but we won't be paying his salary or any of his benefits or anything. It offsets.
The grant is gonna take care of it, or, okay.
Yep, so it falls under the Uniform Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act. So he was offered a job, he accepted it under the conditions and that which we offered, and then subsequently he got orders to active duty. We'd be in big trouble if we didn't.
No, I'm not worried about, I understand the whole thing,
And I
I'm just worried
talked
about how we paid for it.
Yeah, so it's safer funds.
Okay.
And it's all approved through Safer. I already discussed it with the Safer folks, and they said, yeah, we encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Fully aware of the program with that.
No, I don't have a problem, we have, police has.
Any other questions you guys had? Finances wise, it wasn't, we're under, I read that.
I just wanted to see what legal was up to.
Legal, it's,
That's just-
we haven't gotten billed for, I don't think we got billed for the last special meeting yet.
Actually, we
we
did.
We
did.
did? For that?
Yes.
It's still at that amount? Yeah.
Well, so the bill came after, this is the end of November numbers that you're seeing?
Yes.
The bill came after that.
Oh,
So
okay.
the number will change.
So
by-
it's not part of that number?
No.
I
Okay.
can look and tell you what we're at.
Alright, because I looked at
We're
that earlier.
16 now.
Right, that's what I was thinking, 16 and we gave 30? I'm happy with that.
Well, I have to wait for the program to open.
We do a drum roll.
Okay, keep drumming. Beth is gonna hate you for the noise.
I know. Sorry, Beth.
Did you have any incidents, stuff that you were looking at?
I always get confused over.
I've noticed there's a couple in here, public service assistant,
Mhm.
what is that?
I don't think it puts it, does it say what town it's in? I can tell you.
Tilton.
Tilton.
What day was it?
Oh, that was
November
my,
28th was one of them.
There's a couple of them in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
They're all in
they
Tilton.
could have been assisting the police with something, or the public has a complaint about something, we go do an investigation on it. We have a couple of those kind of things going on right now, neighborhood issues and stuff.
Because you have public services assistance, which excludes service to government agencies, so you probably have one for government agencies and one without.
Yes, okay, I remember what it is now.
Number 28.
Okay, I got one with and one without.
Okay.
One with the government is 9 Mechanic Street.
We don't want any specifics.
Uh,
No, the public service, we have a couple too that will, if the police call us for like a lockout, so it's assist police, and then if somebody calls us for their home, it's public assist with non-government agencies, so,
I would say if you're gonna discuss the street that you just said, it has to be, should be non-public.
yeah.
That's good.
I won't discuss it.
There's two in Tilton that I know, that the other one that you and I talked about the other day.
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to.
Yeah, so I got something in there on both of those things.
Yeah, this one.
That $16,511 does include the special district meeting,
It does.
yes.
Nice.
Wow.
I like it.
I
I didn't think it was
Well,
going to be included.
you
I
know,
know, I'm like waiting. But that, he just sat here on Tuesday night for an hour,
you know,
I know, but
plus
still,
drive
that's
time, mileage.
it's less than we expected. So, I seriously thought it was 16 plus.
I know, I was thinking, like, all right, it's gonna be Saturday,
All right.
that's like quadruple time.
Do we have anything else on the chief's report? Anyone?
I mean, I know I see that fuel's going up, electricity hanging in there, is that going up to heating fuel? So
Fuel's
heating
coming
fuel,
down.
I think we're okay.
But
It hasn't been cold.
Not really, no. November actually was a warmer month than normal, especially for the first half. The second half, it got cooled off, but it cooled off to what normal is, I would say.
right,
Our electric did do the jump that everyone else did recently, right?
Ours take in December when our contract ends, so it'll make a big jump.
Okay.
it'll be, yes.
Okay, because I heard the other night from someone who's in the business that there's going to be another rate hike coming.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Eversource is meeting with the PUC this week because they had to go out and bid for the energy, and that new rate should be coming out.
Okay, so you're already tracking it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that last night. I just wanted to pass that along too, that there's another potential jump coming.
Yeah, anything to do with natural gas, which electricity does. Our training this week is at Liberty Utilities, and we go once a year to see the facility right here on Tilton Road. And instead of taking the pipeline from Concord like they always do, they're doing it almost 100% by truck in natural gas from Montreal because it's cheaper to pay. So the rates are extremely, extremely high, and so.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Any other chief's report stuff?
No, I don't have anything.
Oh, good.
All right, let's keep going then. Report of the committees. The only ones we have are Safer and Station, I believe.
Safer's meeting tomorrow night,
Yep.
and the station is meeting next,
The 15th,
the
a
15th.
week from Thursday.
So the RFPs have been out, the questions have been answered
Yep.
and sent out, and we're just waiting on submittals now.
Whatever your last meeting was, I drove back down the hall and I panicked, like, where am I supposed to be down? That's how the chief's car, I saw your car, I'm like, oh no.
We missed the meeting. Yeah, so the station committee met. The chair of the new chair of the station committee is going to be Paul Blaisdell. The vice chair is going to be Tim. Thank you, because I was going to say the wrong last name.
Pearson.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've done it myself, so.
Yeah, I think that's a good combination to have as the chair and vice chair for that. I think that brings some.
You guys still looking for?
Still need 2 people from Tilton
Yes.
to be on the committee.
Yep. Yep, that was discussed, and yeah, there was 2 Tilton people, and yeah. So that's where we're at right now.
Maybe that would be a good Facebook post, Mr. Facebook Man.
It's been on Facebook.
Yeah, but
Maybe it
he's
needs to be
been rejuvenated, he kind of rejuvenated it.
Do you want me to post something? Do you guys want to give me some language to post, and I will?
I have language.
Right on it.
We just have, can you take a post that's already there and just repost it?
You can copy it and just do
Yeah,
it.
just it's easier to
Yeah,
copy.
Put a
so
picture
this one
with
in
it,
there,
All right.
Yeah.
I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay.
Put a picture with it though, just because.
Picture of our crumbling sign.
Yes.
Well, the pictures always just do better
It
than
catches
Yes,
the eye
uh,
rather than
just a text.
The logarithm is better for pictures?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that what
Yes,
it's
it is.
called? Logarithm?
Algorithm.
algorithm. Yep. Your
Logarithm is
numbers.
Yeah.
statistics.
If Facebook
Yeah.
likes you
It's
that
for my
day.
statistics class.
Yep. At the same time, you probably need to get in, while you're at it, you might as well look for the clerk too. Stephanie is going to do March, or,
I'm working on her.
okay, so put it in there also for the clerk, and I'm sure she would be very happy if she didn't have
She
to,
would be very happy if she didn't have to.
but if not, so.
Is that an appointed position? I'm not.
It would be an appointed position
For
for
this year.
now.
Yes.
And then voted position going forward after
There will
March.
be an election. It'll be one of the positions up for election.
Yes, it will be up for election.
So, all right, so we really don't have much further reports of the committees. Old business, you added a couple items, I believe.
Yes, just so, an update on the state property in Laconia. Governor and Council is gonna be meeting to approve the purchase of the property for 20-something million dollars. Also, the cost of a new dispatching facility there for Lakes Region and 911 is somewhere in the area of $23 million. And Governor and Council previously approved last week or 2 weeks ago, $13 million for the construction of a new facility. That's leaving a balance of another $9 or $10 million, which I believe will probably come from the proceeds of the sale of the property. And the other half of the proceeds of the sale will probably be going towards to the city of Laconia for infrastructure improvements. That's my guess right now, although I don't know for sure. Huh?
Someone's making out, they're buying that for 20 million.
21 million.
There are a number of huge issues at that site that have to be mitigated.
Right.
And so it's a lot of property, but there's a lot of problems too. And there's no real infrastructure within the property
Well,
that has to be
ledge,
thrown
yeah.
in. Ledge, or maybe this ledge, I don't know.
Just
But,
based on where it sits.
but they had a preliminary plan for the use of the property that included every type of housing imaginable, from, low income property to high-end properties for residential living use. Anything you could think of that they tried to put in there.
There's a convention center going in, there's a pharmacy, minute clinic.
Medical clinic,
Just what you
A
need.
lot of housing.
Nothing about
19
Well, it'll
housing
be-
units,
Yeah.
1,900
yeah.
housing units.
Times 3 average people, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Figure that out, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of
6,000
people.
people. So that's a huge increase in population,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I was talking to the mayor
School
about it the other
impacts,
day,
you know,
and about
impact
how
on
we're trying to,
schools
they want
and
to step it in because our school can't take it.
Right.
It's gonna,
public
Yeah.
safety impacts,
It's huge.
DPW impacts. I mean, there's a lot of impact, but at the same time, hopefully there's a huge revenue increase from taxes. So that's for the city of Laconia to figure out. The other thing is that the new CAD system, which we signed a contract with Tyler, that should be up and running and online in October. And again, the interface between image trend and the old CAD system,
Cameo?
no,
Or is,
whatever CAD system we're using, it's 2 letters, I forget. XCAD is what it is. Is ongoing, but the person who was working on it became ill, so it's kind of on a pause.
so at this point, is it, well, we can talk about that tomorrow.
So that's all I had for old business, to bring you up to date on that kind of stuff.
Because the CAD system, once it gets up as a paying member into the mutual fire aid, we can really utilize that for stuff.
Yeah,
our
so,
planning and all that, or?
yes. Yeah, you can get reports out of it and stuff like that.
Oh, this is not graphing, this is more, when I think CAD,
Oh, yes,
no,
oh, no,
computer-aided
drawing.
dispatch.
That's,
Yeah, it's
okay.
computer-aided dispatch.
I'm
It's
going-
not computer-aided drawing.
Okay, I'm going into that method, and
Yeah.
that's why I said the Cameo and things like that.
Yeah.
No, this is the computer dispatching.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Will you still be able to see, calls
Oh, yeah,
online?
that'll be, it'll be a different,
No, but you know how you can go on?
yeah, like the Lakes Region webpage.
Yeah.
They'll be there, but I'm sure it'll be a much different, look to it, I believe.
I don't know, that's one thing I don't know if that's gonna be there, to be able to go online and see all the calls.
The live CAD,
The live
yeah.
CAD.
Oh,
I don't know if the new one has
That's where you see
that.
all the gossip on Facebook. Well, plus, now I have a window at work for my office, and we're on the main roof of the hospital, so.
That's one of the locations,
There's
yes.
no Opticon systems at that light there.
I am not surprised.
So it's like, you see, ooh, it's a police car, and I go like, chicken.
There used to be.
Nothing's, no.
Raining.
No, there used to be, they took it
It's
out.
gotta be somebody, I don't know why.
So you have a good story. So good.
Alright, so that's dispatch, and yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
of the mapping systems and stuff.
So where we use, when we had Firehouse software, their CAD would download all the time from the call. When we switched to Image Trend through the state, we have to redo that, and that's what, we're in the process of redoing that, so it downloads to Image Trend, and now falls out.
And building the reports and all that the way you want.
Yeah, so all the times and the addresses and who's responding automatically is populated in our records management system, where currently now we have to do it by hand,
Mhm.
which is a pain in the butt.
Alright. Anything else for old business from anyone? Alright, let's keep on chugging along. Warrant articles. Are these first readings, or what's the thing?
These are for your approval
Yes,
as
please.
to content, and then we can send it to DRA.
Anything that's highlighted, the numbers will be changing at the end of the year.
That's on the bottom of page 2.
That's where the fun starts.
Yeah,
You made that the last one?
well,
Let's get the torch over with, make it number 1.
it's just there.
You can put it in any
It's-
order you want.
We can rearrange, but it's just there for now. Knowing, you know, who knows what's gonna happen.
Or even if you want the warrant article
Right.
there.
That's why it's last, I didn't know if
because-
you'd want it.
That's an interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
To find out more and more.
Right.
So anything that's not highlighted or anything like that is what we've had as approved writing in the past,
Yes.
like Article 10. There's only that, the only change from last time we did it was that.
We're adding that, yes.
Right. Yep.
And it says vote rather than. And then you just have to decide if you approve or not.
Don't you want to highlight Article 12, the amount for the, because that's going to be fluctuating based on your budget committee and all that?
That is the budget committee figure, they're done.
They're done.
Oh, they're done?
They're
Okay.
done.
All right. Wow, that went through quick.
Yeah,
Well, that was,
that was kind of a push deal. It's the earliest the budget has ever been done.
That's your tongue.
I am.
Help that we got all the other members from.
Yes.
Contingencies is a percentage,
Yes.
That is a percentage.
and number 24 is stuck in my list.
So right now, we have no talks or anything like that, and we know they don't like the 100,000. and this is what burned us last year, is that we put a number in there for up to cover us if discussions happen, which to date, discussions have not happened.
Right, but that's why that article is highlighted,
Yep.
because that will be changing. We don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Was this January 1st, 2022, shouldn't that be 2023?
It,
We just took last
I
year's.
took last year's and stuck it in there
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
highlighted the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because who knows?
But I'm pretty sure that we'll get hung out to dry if we have this on there. I think they've made their,
Well, I don't think it would pass.
no, but I think they want, how they want pressurized hydrants to be handled. I think they made that, at least to me.
They made it very clear.
As Commissioner Silly says, I'm one of three, but what I understood and what I heard, is they want it a certain way, and it's not a way that we've proposed yet.
No.
What do you mean? My
Unless
problem.
they want to pay per usage. But what is that per usage cost?
Right. And that's the hard thing.
Right. That-
So that's just sitting there, nice and yellow.
Is it $1 a gallon, is it or a foot, or whatever the measurement is on?
It's gonna be hard to believe that they're gonna go for that. I mean, what if you don't use any?
Well, they'll say, yeah, sure, no, if we've used 20,000, okay, $6 a gallon.
Well, that's where you do up to. That way, if you have a
Bad year.
good year where you don't use it, you're not paying out the full amount way up here. It's based on
Usage.
you figure out your usage fee and it's like up to there. Now, if you hit that and then you have a bad year, you have to go over.
Well, you can't
Then
have
you're
a variable warrant article, it has to be a fixed cost anyway.
That is correct.
That's right.
So, but yeah, that's what the up to,
Right.
but so,
And if you exceed that, you can either use your contingency fund or
Right.
something like that to
Right.
offset exceeding that cost, but.
Right. Or, yeah.
oh boy.
But if the truth be known, I don't see anything happening on that this year. I mean, because
Yeah, I'm good with everything else I've seen. I mean, that's pretty much what we're doing. We did talk about the ETF, the fire prevention ETF, oh, wait a second, that's not what I'm thinking of. I was thinking the amendment to the apparatus and equipment to
Yeah, that's
incorporate
from-
that in. We talked about that. Definitely, I'm all in favor of adding more money to the dry hydrant and cistern and keep that process going. If we have sites, I mean, if we get to a point where we've talked with every pond or stream owner and we have the yeses and the nos, and we're coming up to, we've tapped what we can, then we don't keep adding to it.
Yeah.
But until then, maximize our potential for these semi-remote areas or
How many sites have you identified as potential?
Potential, I've got like 13 or 14 sites right now that I'm working on. And we've got to the point where agreement on 3 of them. The 4th one, I'm just waiting for that last email to say, yes, go ahead and do that one. And then there's others there.
So, I mean, okay, if you get 4 passed, done, you get 4 next year, that's 8, that's
So-
half your list.
So, I like to look for dry hydrants because they're a lot more economical to install and stuff like that, but there are a lot of places where there just isn't any water available.
No,
Where we have to look at cisterns, and the cost of cisterns is much more expensive. But there again, you have a certified water source, and it helps everybody within that area in their home insurance. And we can always grab it if we need it for something else that's closer, but not right in that immediate area as well.
Did you use any of them this year?
Any cisterns?
Yeah.
We did not use any
What
cisterns.
about last year? Let me put it this way. When was the last time you used it? One of them.
I can't recall recall.
I don't remember either.
Drawing a blank.
We typically use a dry hydrant if we,
Yeah.
or a pressurized hydrant. Those are, the cistern's more of a,
I know, sort of like a insurance policy, I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is cisterns is a finite source, it's 30,000 gallons. You get all 30,000 gallons out? Probably not, but you get close to it. And then once you empty it, you have to fill it.
I understand, yeah, I understand.
So, and then even if we're putting certain areas of dry hydrants, we're going into ponds. Sometimes we have to drain the pond to get the thing, and then we have to refill the pond too. So that's one of the ones we're looking at in the spring is that's going to be
I
the process
just,
too.
the questions are gonna come up sometime, how often, when was the last time you used one?
Yeah.
I needed one.
Well, it's the same thing with the hydrant. I mean, we haven't used a lot of hydrants, but we've been pretty lucky.
Well, I think the hydrant system's been around a lot longer than cisterns, number one. And I think people don't understand what they are. Then you'd say, hey, it's 30,000 gallons in the wall, sitting here waiting to use. And then
So-
a hydrant, I mean, people, they don't understand.
Yeah, so a cistern is just another way of saying there's another pond in your neighborhood.
I understand
We
that.
make it a pond, you know, we're providing a pond with 30,000 gallons of water in it. I mean, back in the old days where they had the hand-drawn pumpers and stuff like that, and they used to have fire ponds everywhere. You know, there's still fire ponds around that you can find that, you know, are abandoned and because they have hydrant systems now. There's one right beside my wife's shop in Laconia. You see a fire pond right there, fire hydrant right there, because they extended the water service to that area.
Because you're gonna have people on there that, there again, that probably were on the fire department years ago, say, you know, we're spending this money for a cistern, when you got trucks that hold 2,500 gallons of water, why can't, you know, mutual aid would be cheaper than,
Yeah.
and it's gonna happen, you would see, people are gonna,
yeah, the mutual aid, I mean,
you got,
Yeah, finite resource on mutual aid. I mean, yes, you can go to higher alarms and bring them more in, but now you have more apparatus on the road and then
It
it's,
becomes unwieldy after a while,
Yeah,
especially depending upon the road network that
Right.
you're working with.
you gotta figure out your travel path of fill to and then back and the turnaround and offload, onloads, and there's pros and cons to it, absolutely. I think one of the things that you might wanna do for March is have a little bit of presentation or maybe just an information board of what a cistern is. Showing, I mean, in reality, it's a septic
It's a septic
box
tank.
with a pipe that goes to the bottom that you draw out with a vent.
Yeah.
But get some of that up there for people. Alarm clock on, something in there. But you might want to have like some information poster
Sure.
boards up so they can see what a dry hydrant is and what that is, and maybe even show our water locations in the district. It just standing around, not necessarily on the, you can have them on a video loop as well for beforehand, but just have some freestanding whiteboards on a tripod or something showing water supplies. This is our existing water supply of where our water is, where our hydrants are, where our dry hydrants are, and then show that so that people can see.
I will let a selectman push the button, I don't know, there's your server, whatever's powering your server, the UPS battery backup is beeping. And I don't wanna shut it off.
That's a Tim Pearson.
Yeah,
I would call Tim.
Take a picture of it
Yeah.
and send it to Tim.
Yeah.
This is beeping, Tim.
Eric, did you have thoughts on the Warren article?
Yeah, the battery backup, the battery backup, I assume this is your server or something?
But, yeah, I mean, people, how we did things, and there's questions, but at least having that information out there for people.
well, they ought to be explained, you know, what it is, what it's served for, and what it actually does. Because somebody's gonna come up and say, we're spending $10,000 to put this thing in the ground, what good is it for me? And if you don't explain it to them,
Yeah.
they're gonna say, hey,
But
that's why you got 4 or 5 trucks, what do you need this in the ground? And that's what's gonna happen.
yeah. But the lucky part of that is the maintenance on a cistern. When you think about the putting in the ground, the maintenance for it is so much less than a moving resource of at minimum of 2 people the maintenance, the 20-year replacement and all that, these cisterns are,
Forever.
so there's ways of selling that,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, and the education,
I think you're
absolutely.
right.
And so that's why having some of those whiteboards explaining what they
They
are.
are asking for $100,000, you know, you gotta,
Yeah, and show them where we have them and things like that. It's more education for them, it would sell if I,
Pictures of them, yeah.
yeah, just post it around and on the loop. I personally have no problem with any of the warrant articles as I'm seeing them.
You still want warrant article,
Yeah, we need to keep it in there.
It's gonna sit there until we know more.
Yeah, 13.
all right.
Lucky 13.
We're not doing anything with it, we're just gonna leave it there highlighted in yellow.
Yeah. As far as, I mean, this can go off and we can renumber,
We can reorder it,
except for the first three, I think, have to be in
The
precise. Or
the
four.
first three,
First three have to be in that order.
yes,
Yep, that's a locked thing,
yes, and then after that, we can move them any which way.
but it can get approved for the writing of it, and
Yes.
just 5 can be 4 for the final printout, or
Right.
something like that,
It's easy enough to swap them around once.
once they get their approval.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the other commissioners think, or do you need a motion and a second vote on this one? To accept the draft?
Well, uh, yes, let's do it that way, and that way you can say you approve warrant article, blah, 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 blah. You recommend it, if you want to do all of them at the same time, or you can do each one individually, except for the pressurized hydrants, of course.
Does the budget committee have to meet back for those two then?
Yes,
Yes.
they do, and then once you do your recommendation, then I'll be,
Guarantee you, as soon as they see number 13, then,
right, they're gonna say they don't recommend it, but, and I'll tell them too, it's just sitting there, it's a placeholder at this point, because we don't know anything yet.
I have no problem. I would be inclined to just accept, make a motion and accept them all, but I don't,
well, I'll make a motion that we recommend Articles 4 through 12 as written.
not 1, 2, 3 as well?
You don't have to, it's
Oh,
only money
okay.
articles.
Okay, that's why, okay.
Now, understand that a couple of them are gonna change at the end of the year,
Yes.
the money article, the money amount.
Is
Okay.
it just 5?
5 and 7
5.
are gonna change the money.
Just those two?
Yes.
For the money amount? Yep, and that's why they're highlighted.
Yes,
I mean, unless it's gonna be drastic.
It's not gonna be drastic.
it's not gonna be drastic. It'll just be whatever came in,
Yeah.
And whatever's the,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Well, you made a motion to accept it. I'll second it. Now we can have any other discussion on it. What's your thoughts, Paul?
no, I'm okay with it.
Okay. So, a motion's been made for Articles 4 through 12 as written, with the understanding that the budget amount of Article 5 and Article 7 may have a minor adjustment based on incoming input. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, there you go.
thank you.
3-0.
And I have to add that to Article 10, that you recommend.
Yep.
And Article 13 is a question mark.
Right, yep. I think it's a fair status for that one. I mean, there's, who knows, maybe someone might actually want to talk to us rather than, I mean, good.
So that's what this is gonna take place.
Right.
Yeah. So if the next, the policy, new policy in front of you, down there, that I would like to review with you. You can have this one.
He gave that tonight, I think, so.
I've already read it. Yeah, well,
Printed
it's-
6.
Was it attached into the,
No,
No,
I
it
brought it
wasn't. You brought it
afterwards,
tonight.
and I maybe have another copy in here somewhere, but. So I had a meeting today with a gentleman that, he's out of Maine, and he runs this service in Maine, and he's expanding into New Hampshire and Vermont, and what his company does is he bills insurance companies for when the fire department responds to motor vehicle accidents or anything involved with a motor vehicle, because the insurance companies put money in their policies to cover fire department responses to those types of incidents. The average payout is anywhere from $800 to $1,200 per call. The average collection rate is 60% of the incidents supplied to them. So I threw all those numbers in to what our average motor vehicle accident response is, which is between 105 and 120 something motor vehicle accidents a year that we respond to. If we take 60% of those, given an average reimbursement rate of $1,000, is $60,000 minus the 20% cut that the
That's
company takes. It's an additional $50,000 in revenue that could go into the unanticipated revenue fund, which could be used to offset the operating budget. And I thought this would be a good thing to help with the safer, help offset safer costs.
Any other local departments doing this
So
in New Hampshire?
he's just coming into the state, so we're on our own right now because he's just starting to pitch this.
there's no one else doing this?
Not in New
Not in New
Hampshire
Hampshire.
currently.
And how established is he in Maine with it?
Oh, he's got, his website's loaded with Maine municipalities.
So, my car catches on fire,
Yep,
you respond.
yes.
So this just says, this is what confuses it. Tnfd, you've said that it's $800 to $1,200, but Tnfd will charge a flat rate fee of $1,500 per hour for any incident involving a motor vehicle. This includes responses of ambulances, engines, libraries, rescues, and command vehicles.
Charge who?
The insurance company
Of the vehicle?
of the vehicle.
Okay, so
So-
they're billed, not the actual
Right.
vehicle owner.
Right.
Right.
So State Farm.
Because I've seen and heard complaints even from police officers that a cell phone driver goes by, sees that little fender bender, and calls the fire department. Police officer's already there, and somebody didn't know what they're doing, so, okay, we're gonna pay that bill. I didn't call you,
Right.
you know.
And the reason you're doing 1,500 is so that you're above the amount, and then you only get, of that 1,500, you only get what the insurance will pay as coverage.
Right, and we'd said the policy would be for the units, us, the TNFD, would basically the same as what we do for our medical billing, was that if they have insurance, we'll collect it. If they don't have insurance, we won't collect it.
But, okay, on the flip side, it's kind of what Deputy Robinson just said. If, I bust a water line on my car and it's just spraying water and it's creating steam, but someone driving by, oh my God, that car's on fire, they're down 911, I have insurance. But if my car is not on fire, am I still gonna, are you still gonna bill my insurance $1,500?
If we respond, yes.
Subjective.
But I didn't call you.
Doesn't matter if
And
we,
I would tell my insurance company not to pay it, because I didn't call you.
your insurance company will probably.
Pay it anyways,
They're gonna pay it
But
or
if I
not pay
never,
it.
if I never file a claim, because this is an overheated thing, I'm gonna call AAA, they're gonna bring my car to the dealership and I'm gonna go see the dealer. So I've never filed an insurance claim because it's a wear and tear thing really, or something, or, whatever. I can see it may be a little different if I ran and hit a deer and it busts my radiator and that causes smoke. But if I'm just broken down on the side of the road, I happened to be once. My water pump went, my car, started smoking, but the fire department didn't show up. I didn't file an insurance claim. I paid I paid a couple $1,000s to get my engine fixed, you know, or whatever.
The other thing, every little fender bender,
Well, I just feel like,
you know, somebody go by and clips you and you stop and get the
Well, there was one out here
information,
the
it's
other
called the
day.
fire department.
Oh, and somebody did that to my wife. Somebody cut her off and rubbed her front fender. They pulled off to the side of the road,
So your insurance company's gonna get hurt.
Would,
apparently.
would then get hit.
Well, I have a
Which
tough
would
time
then
with
affect
this.
your insurance rate.
I have a tough time with part
Oh,
of
of course
this.
it would.
I like the idea of the money, but I feel like if I just overheated and the fire department comes on,
That happens usually on the highway. We might get a call for an overheated car. If someone hits a deer and there's steam from the hitting the deer, we usually don't get those types of calls unless somebody's injured because of the windshield for some reason. Maybe a deer.
airbag deployment or something like
Yeah,
that.
airbag deployment, yeah.
I mean, for the most part, the police do a very good job of, now, not like it used to be, of, you know, calling us when they need us and not calling us. But obviously, there is a lot of times we do go. Is there a way, chief, to like differentiate or no? Is it-
So, they'll only bill the insurance companies if we send them the report.
Right.
If we don't send them the report, they're not gonna send a bill out.
Yeah, gonna do
It's
it.
subjective, so it's, if a good intent call, we could choose to, internal policy or write it off. If it's something where you're doing work, and that's where I'm just looking at the writing of this, is trying to figure out where the crew actually have to do something, rather than a good intent call.
Yeah,
Good intent, we don't submit it, I mean, so yeah, it was overheated vehicle, they don't have to do anything, it's like you're all set, we don't have to stabilize, sit on scene or anything like that. Just because we left the barn doesn't necessarily mean we have to submit the bill.
well, trust me, I love the idea that we're gonna make money every time we leave the barn.
Yeah,
I get that.
no,
But again,
I wanna be fair about it though, it's,
yeah, I
it's
just,
performing a
I
service.
left that's one of the services out that I wanted
Which
to
one?
improve. Fire extinguishment.
Yes, that's important.
Extinguishment of fires.
I
So
I just have that trouble where, you know, oh, yeah, you know, I'm overheated, guys, that's it, you know, I don't need you, keep going. Don't stop now, because I don't want it to get billed.
Yeah, and then at that point, we didn't perform an action, right?
Right.
There's no bill.
No.
Yeah, but if you show up, you get out of the truck.
It's
You
not
look-
an action, really.
Well, that's why I guess I wanna know what that line
So
is.
if we get there, we get out of the truck, we have to set the cones up, do traffic control, maybe evaluate some patients that may or may not go to the hospital, something like that, that would probably warrant the bill. But if we get there and we do nothing, like we drive up and the guy's saying, it just overheated, and we just turn around and go back, we probably wouldn't generate a bill for that. But that's up to you guys to develop whether you think that.
Or if like,
appropriate to bill or
if
something like that.
a tractor trailer pulled off because his brakes were smoking or something like that, well, I guess.
Or his tire blew
Last
out.
time I went to one of those, it ended up into a full tractor trailer fire.
Yeah, if there's somewhere phraseology in there of actions performed, because then you're not charging them for it just leaving the station, but like the fee includes actions performance of da 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 da, then that's, we've done something, because if we're just there as a good intent for the people, and even if you just have the lights going for a little bit until a tow truck comes for 20 minutes, that's part of what the community pays for and things like that. I mean, yes, we look at the disposition reports already, of seeing which ones we're gonna bill for or not bill for, and
Would residents be charged?
Their insurance policy could be charged, but any resident, if they didn't have insurance, they wouldn't be charged.
Well, what if I'm a resident of the state of New Hampshire and I don't have insurance because I'm not required to by law?
You probably wouldn't get a bill, I don't know.
Then the other side of that
But it's
is,
against the law of getting an accident. not
Yeah,
have
you
Right.
still have to be responsible
it. That's New
for,
Hampshire.
you
Yes,
still have to be responsible for any costs incurred.
the other side of that is, truck trailer flips over on 93, carrying a load of trash, whatever, and you're on scene for 5
Hours.
hours, yeah, hours, you
So
know.
this is per hour.
Yeah, so per hour, so that trucking company would get
A bill.
billed. Now,
Their insurance company.
but now because it's a crime scene, they took out a car, right, and you still know who's at fault. And John's pickup truck is now the size of a, you know, a Yugo. Is John gonna get billed too?
Doesn't matter who's at.
The fire department wouldn't be on the scene that long anyways, they'd be there for initial scene control and.
Well, no,
exposure
this is
control,
a big, this is a
Yeah.
long term, like there's cleanup sometimes and
Or
like.
whoever you end up,
I mean, the insurance company would figure that out.
Yes.
Like my daughter just got in an accident and the insurance company's.
No idea.
If there's two competing insurance agents because two cars hit each other, who's at fault,
they'll
they
figure it
battle it
out.
out.
Yeah.
It doesn't, it's somebody, you know, the payments go out to who need to be paid, and the insurance companies decide who's gonna pay what.
Do all, you suppose all insurance companies got this policy?
No, I don't think all do.
So in other words, if I got in an accident and I didn't have this insurance, and you were to send me a bill, what?
Well, you
Well-
live in the fire district.
Well, that, okay, if I didn't live there,
That's the end of it.
if I didn't live in the fire district, and my insurance did not cover this.
Well, could create a policy that you could pursue it, or we just let it go, write it off. I mean, this,
It'd be like disposition reports.
How do you get
this
the
is
insurance?
something we would review on a monthly basis, you know, just like we do the ambulance reports. And the commissioners can make a decision based on policies that you
I
put
like
in
the idea
place.
of a potential revenue source, trust me, I get
No, I'm-
that, that's.
I'm thinking, you know, $50,000 is a lot of money that we're leaving on the table, possibly leaving
It
on
was
the
never been
table.
done before in New Hampshire, so we've been leaving it on the table for years.
Yeah, so,
Why all of a sudden?
well,
Because you got established up in Maine and now.
Yeah, but why isn't no one else doing this? That's
well,
my
no,
question.
they do it in Massachusetts too, because that was part of the thing. When I came up here from Mass, I says, why don't you guys do that? It's just like, you have to do an additional
Yeah, but why
step.
doesn't Manchester do it? Why doesn't Nashville do it? Why doesn't?
Manchester, Nashua, I don't know.
Now, they handle everything. If they can go through this, I don't see why, if there's other companies that do this,
They're like Comstar.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like Comstock.
It's a vehicle Comstar, it's exactly what it is, and that's why I was waiting to see how much of the cut
Cut.
they were gonna take, that's why I was waiting for you to
They-
get to that piece of the
They also do
equation.
ambulance billing, but
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with Comstar right now, so I wouldn't.
I mean, for me, that would be one thing in there, is I somehow put in there services performed in the acts of, maybe, because then that allows the vehicles to go, but if they get there and there's nothing, it's almost like a sign off from a medical. You ain't getting anything because there was nothing, but if it's almost like the fee includes the performance of the following services. You could get away with something as simple as that in your third line in your fee paragraph.
Let's see, the fee includes the following services.
The
Whether we do
performance
them or not.
of the following. Because then you're actually sizing up. You're doing stuff, or you're not. You literally get there and you can do a quick write-off. So I think that's kind of a possible way of doing it in that fashion.
Okay.
That's kind of how I read it, as might help with that, because now we're not saying we'll do it every single time. We're performing duties, and even then, you do say up above about it will be reviewed and subjective to a disposition review.
No, I have that up above.
Yep, you did. Yep.
So,
I just found an article, now I can.
Okay.
Is this a contract we'd have to sign in with them?
Yes.
yes,
How many years?
well, it's 1 year, the first year is a 1 year contract, then after that, they do a 3-year contract.
So theoretically, we
And
can
it's
go.
a 30-day notice for me to decide if they want it, if we wanna get
So
out.
theoretically, we could go into it for a 1-year contract and see how it is.
Central Maine code, cost recovery.
That's it, yeah.
And there's no fee to us if there's no
There's no
annual
direct,
fee or
there's
anything
no
like
direct
that.
cost to us.
Everything is a piece of.
Yep.
I'm not opposed to looking into this as a 1-year option.
I think it's a good idea.
then-
I mean,
Who
what do we
knows?
really have to lose?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is
Yeah.
if there are any gray areas that could be a possible loss, but as long as it's a 1 year that allows an out at the 1 year if for some reason it doesn't go as expected. Because theoretically, once other people could be out there, I'm sure he's approaching more than just you.
Oh, yeah, he wants.
That's
So
probably
they
all out
cover, they cover 80% of municipalities in Maine. And they get $25 plus 20% of the amount paid by the insurance company for each incident.
Say that part again.
So, this is the town of Litchfield, Maine. They entered into, it looks like they entered into an agreement. So, the company, the recovery company, so the Comstar equivalent,
Yeah.
gets $25 plus 20% of the amount paid by the insurance company for each incident.
So an admin fee of $25
Yes.
plus a percentage of,
Cut.
They only deal with insurance companies, so if an individual did not have insurance, they would not be billed.
okay.
Uh,
So they actually get $25.
Admin fee
Okay.
plus a
And
percentage.
that comes up from the insurance company. Pays them the $25.
So the
Yes.
$25
No.
is a fee charged for the administrative fee
That's per accident.
per
Mhm.
And who
claim,
pay-
per claim.
Who pays that 25?
So we pay that 25, but we don't get charged it unless they recover, unless there's a payment.
So if they were going to get $800, the low side of it, they would get their
20%.
20% of that, so they
Plus
would get
25.
plus $25
Yeah.
less from what we would have got.
To make it easy, say the payment is $100, they get 20% of that, which would be $20 plus $25.
Yeah.
They're getting half
They
that.
get
Right.
almost half, but
It depends on how much they collect.
Right.
How
But
much-
it-
$100.
But it's, the
Yeah.
average collection rate is about $1,000 per claim,
They're getting about
according to
$4.
what he's
they're
told me
getting a good
today.
deal, man.
Yeah.
It's a good deal for them.
And that's why he's chasing this stuff around and trying to expand, because every place he expands is. I'm not opposed to,
This starts within 2 months after sign up.
Payments do, because
Yeah.
it takes that period of time.
but there isn't a payment until they actually go after this one.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd make a motion to go into this for a 1-year agreement only with the addition of fee includes the performance of the following services so that allows that
All right.
the truck can show up in.
So, pick the town of Maine, what town you know the towns they have contracts with.
Arundel, it starts with an A, it should be at the beginning of the list.
Yep, so down one. Oh, I have to do password.
Insurance.
No, it's down one. It won't let me just see it.
So you performance of and extinguishment of.
Yep. I have that.
Okay. Alright. So, I flat out made the motion. Anyone want a second or do?
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. Any more discussion on the matter? Still looking
Yeah,
for
just-
something before you think?
No,
The only discussion I have, the money we take in, where would that go, a separate fund?
It goes into the unanticipated revenue for the fiscal year. And then at the end of the year, or sometime during the year, the commissioners can decide whether to use that unanticipated revenue to offset the tax rate.
So what it does is it goes into the unassigned fund balance.
Okay.
Yes, Eric?
Hi.
Hi.
Could we set up an account similar to the one we do for ambulance wage
You
revenues?
mean the apparatus and equipment?
Yeah, great, but
I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
then designate the purpose of that to offset wages.
Is that 7:30?
Well, you could, but the only problem with that is that every year that would go to zero. Because you would take it out of that fund
Leave a dollar in the fund.
against the operating budget, the wages, to reduce the operating budget, the amount.
What's the difference, whether you take it out for the operating budget or use it for?
Well, this way it can't be, we have, let's say there's a productive year, a lot of incidents that we receive revenue for, unfortunately.
Oh, so you're saying that whatever is above and beyond wages would stay in this?
No, so let's just say we
You could say
anticipate.
50% of it goes against wages, and then the other 50% could be a fund that starts building.
For what?
Or you
Like
put
the
it
tower?
or you put 50% towards wages and 50% towards building.
New building, old buildings,
New building.
buildings, new buildings?
New building. I'm just throwing something out there. I mean,
Did
because
Did you
what
say
I'm-
buildings?
Well, he's just throwing things out there.
but what I guess what I'm trying to do is, instead of it just going into the unassigned fund balance, now where it's falsely higher, and someone says, oh, we have, $500,000 in the unassigned fund balance, oh, let's use it to offset this, this, and this. And no, let's purposely make it for,
Well, if we did that, it would have to become a warrant article, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So we could initially go into a policy with that first 1 year of this to see if it's a valuable, that before we make it a warrant article and a locked-in thing that we have to go year after year, just make it a policy and go into it as a 1 year
Trial.
trial basis before we lock ourselves
so we
into
can kind
it.
of see what the numbers are gonna be.
See if it's worthwhile or not, because maybe after the first year we say it's just not worth it, it wasn't what we thought. If you do a warrant article, then you have to rescind the warrant article and all that stuff, whereas this, we can do a policy, and then next year, okay, we know it works, now we're gonna use it, and we know that potential income of this, so that's 75% of it goes into call company training or something. We could figure out a designation after the fact, but then we would know what.
We could, sorry, I'm excited, that's why I'm pointing. We could actually take it and set it up so that we would have $50,000 in that unassigned fund balance, and we could create a warrant article to establish that towards wages. So we could take $50,000, put it towards.
Yeah, and when people ask where it came from this policy that is now a warrant article to the public.
I like your idea.
Yes, I think that's an excellent
Let's
idea.
do a trial year and see where we go with
Yeah,
it.
no,
And
but then
we
you
have
have
a
the-
year. We have a year to develop
But-
a warrant article
But
and
like you
decide
said,
what to
then
do
you
with
can
it.
use that for an offset or,
I like it.
yeah. But this way, we're not locked into anything, and if it fails, it's a policy. We close down and we say we not renew.
Yeah.
Because once it becomes a warrant article,
They're gonna be looking for it every year.
it becomes a very rigid issue at that point.
Is this legal in the state of New Hampshire to do this? That's why
Yes.
my number one.
That was my first question.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, just because I never
That
heard
was
of
the
it.
first question.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're testing, and he's probably, like we said, he's probably soliciting everyone else, so we may not even be the first ones that sign on board. You don't know if you're the first person he approached, or,
I was one of many interviews that he's having today.
Well,
so.
I'm sure he's driving around every town, and he's like the,
Yeah.
he's
If he gets
selling.
1 out of 10, that's money in his pocket, so.
He gets 10 towns. That money goes through him, and he banks that money, he makes a little interest on it, $35 a month extra, that all that.
we got a motion, a second. Everyone good on voting? All in favor? Aye. That's none opposed, none, so 3-0. So you get a 1-year trial of it. Let's see what it does.
Okay, thank you.
With those additional words, the performance of, and you
Yes,
don't.
I have them.
Yeah, because that way we are the good intent, we're not hurting people on that. I
Right.
think that's critical, good faith.
Good.
All right. All right. Slow meeting for me. All right, review of minutes. Everyone get to read those two, even though there was 3 out there? There was. Beth had sent out 11:15 as well.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't put it on the,
Yeah.
sorry, you can still approve it or not, I don't, you know.
Well, I had a question on 11:15 because there was a timestamp or something in there.
All right, let me go into it.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, that happened while I was out sick.
Which ones, John, was there a time slot?
It was 11/7, November 7th, and November 9th, which were budget workshops.
Okay, what was your question on the 15th?
November 15th, page 2 of 3, at the very bottom of it, it looks like a timestamp in there.
It is a timestamp, and I don't know why.
Figured that should come out in minutes.
You're talking about the 123.
Yes.
Yeah, she timestamps it when she's transcribing them.
It just, yeah, that's one that I
That
caught.
was 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Yeah, she was in that far.
Yeah,
That was a long meeting.
yeah, because that was the closeout of the budget, so that one, we made it happen. I think that was the closeout one.
I think it was.
I think so.
That was one where we actually got into salaries. No, we didn't end it on rescuing equipment.
Oh,
Oh,
we did, you would have.
we did go into
Yep.
Yeah.
bill and fire equipment.
There's nothing on there about salary.
I don't see.
Was it the meeting before you? Yes, it was the meeting before, maybe? The 9th
Scandal.
or the 7th?
It wasn't the first one. No, that was our normal
The 9th was your
normal meeting. Yeah,
So,
personal meeting. We did health insurance. Salaries and wages, yep.
Was it?
Salaries and wages was the 7th,
okay,
because we took that big piece out of there.
okay.
And then the
Wrapped it up.
15th was the closeout. All right,
Okay,
so
so
did everyone get to read all 3?
you want me to pull out the timestamp?
Yes, please. That was one thing I saw on there.
It was weird that it was pink. Like, someone already saw it, but I'm just gonna leave it there,
Yeah.
just to see if they see it.
So if we've all read, someone want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of November 7th, November 9th, and November 15th as corrected.
I'll second it.
So you got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. All right.
Did we go over encumber funds?
Yes, we
Yes,
skipped
we
that.
went over that.
Okay.
And I have non-public
Yeah.
meeting minutes here.
Oh, yeah, meeting minutes for the non-public.
Yes.
Did you have something else for other business? I thought you had it. Okay, I thought you were
We
talking about.
covered it.
Okay.
But, yeah, hold on.
Yeah. There's no disposition report tonight, but people do need to
There
pull up the
is
calendar.
disposition reports tonight. I brought them.
Nuh-uh.
Well, it wasn't on there, but it's done.
He's
Sorry.
a draft.
People will get their calendars out, because we do need to go there too, for January dates.
Take one,
Main
pass it on.
business portion of the meeting,
What?
main business portion of the meeting.
Come on, do you want to stay to the end for
Um,
something?
I
On
gotta
the-
sneak out, we were 9 o'clock last night, 4 o'clock this morning.
That's a
Yeah.
typical day for me.
Is this?
At one of the meetings, the 7th, it was January 4th for the first meeting.
Yeah,
You had already decided
You have
that.
a lot of
Do
extras.
appreciate you showing up,
No, they-
Deputy.
Huh?
No,
I do
they were
appreciate
two
you showing up,
together.
Deputy.
Oh, I do.
So
No,
it's like
Take
bundle of
a
three,
pack.
here's your other two
Yes,
in
it's
the
a
back.
bundle of 3.
There you go.
Take one packet, pass it on.
Okay.
Blame it on me.
Thank you for
Sorry,
coming.
I'm
Next
working.
Wednesday?
What, yes, sir?
All right,
Yep.
see you then.
All right.
Alright, so we'll be looking at that, and we also gotta look at these non-publics real quick,
What are we doing? What's the,
just see if we're good at accept the,
what was this one?
these are non-publics. So the main thing is. There we go, that's the line I'm looking for. Okay. Trying to find where the line I needed in each one. That's easy enough. 3 sentences, I just need. Alright.
Oops.
Yep.
Alright.
Make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of November 9th, session 1, session 2, and session 3. As presented.
I'll second it.
Alright, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0.
I got to say that just real quick.
Alright, we got any other business you said, so now we gotta go calendar. Because currently, we don't have a meeting.
I have Tnfd on Wednesday.
Next Wednesday is the fire department.
No, I have Wednesday the 4th.
Yeah, well, I think
Yeah, that was gonna be the first meeting in January.
But I also have 10th.
Of January?
Yeah, I have 2 dates. I don't know.
I had the 10th moved to the 4th, so.
That must be what it is.
Okay.
I thought it was the 4th, moved to the 10th.
No, because
No,
it went from Tuesday to the Wednesday prior.
because of the warrant articles.
Yeah, your deadline, you had to get them out by a certain time.
Right,
So we're not meeting the 10th.
right.
Okay, I'm gonna delete that from
Okay.
So
my. And I had at Park Street Station.
Oh,
that might have been 2 years ago.
It was actually.
Maybe that's why I didn't have that one on my calendar.
maybe.
So annual meeting, or monthly meeting will be January 4th.
Yes,
Okay, that's monthly meeting.
yes.
Okay, do we have other things that we need to, because the clerk notification, you have to put that out on the 2nd. You have to, because I put some of these in, the
The second
commissioners
is a
warrant.
holiday.
Yes, the 2nd is.
But that's why it has to be into her before then. Clerk notification, to supervisor's annual meeting.
Right, I don't have, Stephanie will, or, well,
The clerk will.
we'll get them notified.
Yep.
I'll be working with Stephanie and,
I'm kind of keeping track of some of these things with the March coming up.
I know.
And then we had to move the things forward because on the 6th is when we had to have the commissioner's warrant article. So that's why we had to meet on the
That's
4th, just in
right.
case. So that's our last chance at it before the deadline,
Right, and we've got everything except for
13.
13.
Um,
And then, yeah, so there's that.
You have to send the auditor something in DRA on the 9th.
Yep,
The 13th is,
the last date for voters to petition you for a special district meeting.
A
and
special district meeting.
Yeah, we're not, no, don't worry about it. It's on there just in case.
and that's our first day available for public meetings, so anywhere after the 13th, so.
Right. And then the 13th, we don't have to hold a public hearing on a bond or note issue.
Well, Friday the 13th, I'm not holding any type of meeting. So.
Why not? You're working on warrant article 13 at the same time.
And then 13 people will show up and we'll be in trouble.
So the next thing that happens is on January 25th, Wednesday, the declaration of candidacy opens. And Paul, you're up this year.
What day is it? January what?
January 25th, it's a
It's a
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
And then that closes on February 3rd.
So other than our meeting on the 4th, what do we set up for?
That's it.
When do we have to have a meeting?
Public hearing.
Public
February.
hearing.
Public hearing is in February,
Oh,
and that has to be prior, by February 17th.
And our meeting is the 14th then, on Valentine's Day.
probably so.
Why is it gonna kill you?
Yeah, why are we not meeting on the 7th?
Don't we meet the 2nd?
No,
In
Tuesday.
February?
I mean, the 2nd Tuesday? Or are we the first Tuesday of the month?
usually
The first Tuesday of the month.
No.
So your meeting would be on the 7th
Okay,
of February,
all right.
and then you have to decide the public hearing of the warrant and the budget, so.
2/7
And that's usually when the budget committee has the.
They have their hearing on the budget.
At the same time.
Yes.
Yep, yeah, we try to be proactive to the
Right.
communities. Better than force them to come out twice.
So that'd be like Wednesday the 15th or something in February, because it's not in
I'd be inclined to that, but you probably need to get with the budget chair as well.
Yes.
And respect their,
We will,
Or their
yeah, they're
thoughts.
gonna have another meeting anyways to discuss the warrant articles, to whether approve or not. So, I'll pencil in the 15th.
okay,
So we have the 7th for us.
Yeah.
15th
Yes.
is for budget.
public meeting.
Yeah.
Public hearings,
Public hearing on the budget and warrant articles.
okay.
All right. and
What
then-
time is that one at?
That's usually like it's,
I have 6 or 7, so.
I don't know,
Is it gonna be
we've
at
had it at both.
Yeah,
the-
7 pushes it a little late. I mean, you could probably do like 6:30 to allow people to eat, hand off the kids, and then come out if they choose to.
Is that one gonna be at the PD?
We'll see if we can get it there.
Subject to, okay.
Now, when's the budget committee meeting? Oh, we don't know that yet.
I have to contact them to set that up, to go over the warrant articles.
Okay.
So that is on my agenda to do tomorrow, because I wasn't sure if you guys would get through them tonight.
And when is our March meeting?
March 20th?
It is, okay, I do have the right meeting.
That is the annual.
That's the.
That's
annual.
the annual,
Yeah, no, I know.
because elections are on the 14th.
Yeah, because it's late.
Yeah, it is late this year.
Right, we just met everyone a couple weeks ago, so.
Yep, and then the school district is the 25th. So the towns are the
Will be the
18th. Yep. Okay. For the fun.
And that's what makes it so hard for Stephanie.
And what'd you say for our March meeting? I just wrote down. What's our monthly meeting's the 14th, the week before.
No,
March.
it's in, it would
Seventh,
be the
I'm sorry.
7th.
Why did it change?
The 14th is election days,
Okay.
because you guys changed it
To the first?
to the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay. 3/7 is monthly. Okay.
Yes,
And I know you'll do a calendar and all that,
of course.
because some people like Paul doesn't bring his calendar. So, the only other question I have for you is December. The only other things we got here is we have the fire award on
Next Wednesday.
next
Wednesday.
Have fun. I will not be there, unfortunately.
Can't be there.
Though I will be in Massachusetts for work.
Are you coming, John?
Yes.
And Paul, you are coming. Are you bringing your wife, John?
Can't give you an answer on that. Probably not. I have to look at how the home life.
That's fine. It's a busy time of year.
Yeah.
I have to go to Westport,
No,
Mass.
sorry.
New Bedford, Mass, really.
Bedford.
Sorry you couldn't do that.
It's a good drive.
If you
I'll
say,
stay overnight.
if you want to say anything to everyone, write it down and someone can read it on your behalf.
Or maybe I can do a video.
We can have you call in and you can speak to the crowd if
Yeah.
you want
Well,
to.
no, I could just send a video, then you guys can play it.
Or we could put it, yeah, whatever, okay.
Whatever. If you-
Okay.
I gotta get my special Christmas shirt though, because if I don't get my special Christmas shirt, I know it's not a Christmas thing, but I'm gonna be festive.
Okay,
Okay,
as you should be.
so we're good on that? So that's the only other thing for this month right now is December, or right now is the fire awards, and a due out was you were going to send out to the commissioners a estimate for the
Yes, I
part, for Center Street, and
Yep.
you require a confirmation email back from each commissioner.
Right.
Okay,
And
So-
we'll get that done so that we can get that on the books for this year.
right, and that's what I'm kinda thinking, so that's our due outs for the next couple of months for us.
Yes.
All right,
So we have no other meetings this month. Unless we get some really bad news
right,
tomorrow.
No bad news.
so now's your opportunity.
For what?
No.
Oh, you missed it.
Oh. I know, we saw disposition reports, we have to get to non-public session.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Can they all be under one?
Yes, it's just the disposition reports.
All right.
It's one.
All right, so today's date is 12/6.
I have to wait till he says it, right?
Yes, me too. That's why I'm standing here.
Be the eager beaver.
I'm making a motion to go into non-public,
Second.
seconded by EP.
C.
It is C. So, it is in accordance with RSA 91-A:3, 2C, matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any persons other than a member of this board, unless such persons request an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy, if based on inability to pay property of the applicant. All right, roll call vote to enter non-public. Paul?
Yes.
Myself, yes?
Yes.
Yes, and the time is 7:52.
Okay, Sean.
Okay. Back on, reconvened at 7:57 PM. Is there a motion to seal the minutes needed?
No.
Okay. Roll call, we don't need. Motion, so that goes back to her, so I don't lose it. All right. That being the case, we've hit everything on the mark.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
There we go. Paul, motion was made at 7:57. He beat you to it.
I'll let you second.
Okay, then I'll second it.
You got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 3-0. No?